We'll just give it a second for notifications to go out. I know that sometimes YouTube takes a minute to let people know that you're actually live. For those of you coming in, today we're going to be discussing Angel Nichole Overstreet. She was last seen on May 8th. She was 3 months old at the time of her disappearance. She has blue eyes, dark colored hair, reddish tint with a reddish tint to it, and a strawberry shaped mark on the back of her neck. She was in the care of Shannon Patrick Overstreet at the time of her disappearance. We're just going to be discussing a little bit about her case, and if there's anything that anyone in the chat may want to discuss, we will discuss that as well. I have someone with me today who is a wealth of knowledge on the case. She's not related, but she does care about Angel very deeply. Hi, Willoughby. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Good.
Really good. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about Angel and what you know about the case so far, just like a brief overview.
Well, the Huntington Police Department hasn't released a whole ton of information, so there wasn't very much to go on whenever Cheyenne Monk, who's the administrator of the group on Facebook, there just wasn't much to go on. And if it wouldn't been for her and her mom, Kim, no one would know, probably wouldn't know anything. But the police department said that she was missing since May 8th. And as we discussed earlier, I don't know exactly where they got that specific date, unless they go to the date that Shannon was arrested on the 24th. He had said 2 weeks earlier that he had given Angel to 2 CPS workers. Well, we know that's not true at all. And so 2 weeks earlier from the 24th would have been around the 8th. I don't think that anyone has seen her actually since maybe the May 1st. That was the last photo.
Let me pull up that last picture while we're talking about it.
That's the last photo that they have of her. And or that's after that is nothing. The CPS thing has been checked out by the Huntington Police Department, and it's not true. It's not true of Kentucky CPS or West Virginia CPS.
Now, you said that Shannon went to jail. Are you able to elaborate what he was in prison for? Is it because of her disappearance, or is there other charges?
No, other charges. He had assaulted his mother. He had just about beat her to death, from what I understand. And she's in a nursing home, poor woman. So that's why he went to jail. And he has a trial coming up, I think. It went to the grand jury. But he went to jail. So whenever CPS, all right, I'm thinking the Kentucky CPS reached out to West Virginia CPS and asked them to check on Angel. Well, that's when they contacted Huntington Police Department, and Shannon told them that he had given her to 2 CPS workers 2 weeks earlier, which, like I said, they checked that out, and it's just not true.
And we also know that CPS, they weren't involved because of abuse allegations for Shannon. They were involved actually because of the fact that the biological father was looking to gain custody. Is that correct?
Well, no, not originally. I believe that a woman that from Kentucky, a CPS worker, was originally involved so that Shannon could take Angel home with him. I believe Angel's mother, Julie, put him as the father on the birth certificate, and she let him take Angel home with him. And honestly, there's a lot of hearsay about where Julie was at that point. I don't know if when she got out of the hospital, if she was with him. It doesn't appear that she was for very long. But I do know, and from several women in the group have already commented that he was alone with Angel most of the time. So that's why CPS was originally involved, and they okayed it for her to go with him. And he's got a record, a long record, and a
Yeah.
bad one.
Yeah, he forced a tattoo onto a woman at one point, different domestic violence charges, a long history. And we see this in other cases as well, where, CPS is allowing these children to be placed into custody with people who are just, violent criminals. Um, Unfortunately, with the fact that she put him on the birth certificate, they would have had really no say in it, though.
Well, that was
Now,
a
is this Julie's first child?
no. That's not. She. Let's see. I believe she's got altogether six. Yes,
Six.
six children. Her mom has three of them, three of the boys, and her ex. I don't know if she was married to him or not. His, from what I could find out, his name was another Shannon, Shannon Davis, and I believe he has the other children. Or, trying to remember now. He might not have those children. I think that those children went into CPS as well and were put in other homes. But yeah,
So,
60.
yeah. So she's really never really been much of an involved parent with any of her children then. So this isn't new for her to, kind of have a child and leave it, basically.
I suppose not. I don't really. I
The
have
reason
my.
I bring that up is because some people had speculated that, like, what if she decided to kidnap her child back, essentially.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that would be the case, just because she showed not much care or concern in the past with other children, if that makes sense.
I do. I understand that. Yeah, I don't really know her situation, and
Hmm.
I'm not gonna
Speculate.
speculate a whole lot. I mean, I can draw my own opinion, but that would just be my opinion. So
Right.
I'm not really gonna say anything because I don't know her situation.
Right.
But it just appears that she's not an involved parent at all. I mean, I think she sees her boys because they live with her mom, but I don't know how involved she is. So I don't want to say anything too much on
No,
that. I
that's
really
okay.
don't.
Sorry, I had to go grab my daughter. She woke up from her nap. Um,
Oh, really?
so we have had we've had very little news coverage on this case, and there's been no updates since they searched the pond, correct?
That's true. And I don't understand. I just don't. I don't get that part. I really don't. I mean, well, she would be 7 months old now, but at the time she was like a 4 month old because they had searched it at the end of June. So why are you not actively searching for a baby? There's been no update on that pond, and I do think that they would have had the results back by now, but with the pandemic and different things being behind, maybe labs are behind or they just don't know anything yet. But they could have come forward and said, "Oh, hey, we are still actively looking for her. It's still an open case." But I mean, it's been like nothing. They're saying nothing. The Facebook group and you and a couple of other people and Kathy Pierce, I mean, they've been they're the only ones keeping Angel's name out there, and this baby needs to be found.
I did see Michelle After Dark, the YouTube station, did a like short little thing on Angel the other night. I'm not sure if it got shared to the group or not.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I just came across it in my news feed earlier today, so I'm gonna have to share it to the group to make sure people see it. It's not very long, but it is there. It's baffling to me that even trying. Sorry, hold on one second.
Take care of your
Even
little one.
trying to like get a hold of the police department, um they're just not responding to. I've emailed them, I've tried to call and left messages, I've sent messages to their Facebook. I know that there have been others that have done the same, and it's sad that it's just not getting the coverage we want. Sorry, she wants to talk into the mic so bad.
Oh, I know they don't answer. I don't know if they're short staffed. And I can't say. I really just don't know. Maybe they're just so extremely busy, or maybe they just don't want to update people. But they need to let if she's if she's been found or evidences of her has been found, they need to let people know, because there's just a ton of people who want to know, who are very interested and want to know where this child is. We don't know. I mean, did he, I don't even like to say that word. I really don't. But did he hurt her really bad and she's not alive anymore? Did he give her to somebody to watch so that the biological father or in the family can't get to her? Did he sell her? I mean, how does a baby, there's so many missing children. It's just unbelievable. But how does a baby just go missing, that there's nothing, no record, no nothing, and no one is saying anything? This is a baby. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's been so quiet. Even like the family's Facebook pages, they started out and they were posting a little bit, like help us find Angel and different stuff like that. But even their Facebook pages now have gone quiet, and it's
Oh yeah.
just sad because I feel like there's almost a sense of hopelessness that that they
Or
won't
lack of
find her,
or not concerned. I
or
think
yeah, or not concerned, right?
the last post was in June, that I saw on one of Julie's, her mom, Angel's mom, her page, one of her pages. I don't know. I saw a post in June, um, and if she's posted on another page that I don't know about, I probably can't access it, because I think she blocked me at one point. But um, they're just is there. My question is it a lack of concern because they already know what happened? Is Huntington PD not saying anything because they already know what happened? Um, I'm like, and why isn't Shannon? Why aren't they talking to Shannon as a person of interest? Why is he not a suspect? He was the last person with her, and they say he is not a suspect in a missing child. I don't get either way. He abandoned her because
Right.
he
At
did
least it
not.
would be neglect, you would think.
Right. I don't know. It's just so baffling. It really is. I would
Yeah.
love to. It would have been great. He could have just given her, if he didn't want her, or if he was angry that he wasn't the biological father, why not just give her to the biological family and let them take care of her?
Absolutely. Yeah, there was other things that could have happened, and that's why I pulled up the letter that he had posted. He had received it on 4/14, basically letting him know that there was a paternity dispute filed. They wanted to take the baby back. the biological family wanted to take custody of her, and it
Right.
made him very angry. And so for a long time, I've hoped that perhaps maybe he gave her to one of the many women that he's been talking to. We've had several now at this point come out in the Facebook group saying that they were talking to him at the time of her disappearance or shortly before the time of her disappearance. So I've always kind of kept that hope in the back of my head that maybe, just maybe, she could still be out there and that he just handed her off before he went to prison.
Well, if she's with someone, I mean, they are extremely tight-lipped about it because they're not saying a word. Um, I feel kind of sad because I don't think she's with us anymore. I really don't, and it's just making me. It just it breaks my heart so bad. I mean, like I think I told you. I mean, I'm a firm believer that every child born has a purpose, and this little girl, I mean, she didn't. If she's not with us, he took her entire life away from her. There's no telling what she could have become and done, and I don't know. I would be putting so much pressure on him. I really would. But I don't think he's bothered by it. I don't think he's scared of anything. He's definitely not afraid to hurt women. I mean, with all the women in the group that have come out and talked about abuse and how psychotic he behaves and how angry he gets. I mean, it's very disturbing. It's disturbing that the hospital or CPS would even let someone with a history like that have a child.
And that's another one of the laws. Like, I mean, I've been talking a lot about Isabella Kalua and the different laws that need to change in our country. And that's another one of the things where do we draw the line? Even if you are, say he was biologically her father, if you have a history like this, should we really be letting these children go home with these people?
No.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things where do you draw the line at? What is I don't know how to say this. Like, what is the point where, you don't deserve to be this child's father, even if you are? Do you know what
Like
I mean?
criteria, right? The
Like,
criteria.
as soon as you have domestic violence and assault charges like that and jail time, and it's not to say that somebody's life can't change, but like his stuff was really recent whenever he took her home from the hospital. It
Oh yeah.
wasn't like his charges were, years and years and years prior. He wasn't young whenever they happened. I mean, he was young whenever some of them happened because he started at right around 18 getting in trouble legally, and he continued that same path up through his life. He's 38 now, I believe.
Yeah.
So like he had 20 years of a nonstop trail of incidents with police, and just
And
because
then what's
Jolie put
the
his name on the birth certificate, we let him take her out of the hospital.
right? Um, I don't know. I don't think that CPS is just overloaded. I just thought about this. I actually read something on the CPS site in Kentucky. They were talking about that during, oh, in the beginning of the year, that all of your workers were working from home. And where was I going with that now? Wait a minute. um,
I
oh yeah,
totally believe that, because that's how it is where I'm from in Pennsylvania. It was rather during the beginning of COVID. My one daughter, she goes to therapies and different stuff like that. A lot of it is through early intervention, which is through the state. She also does outpatient therapy for her issues. But they were doing the state based therapy from home. So like we had to do Zoom calls and different stuff like that. But whenever you get into a situation where, there was she has a counselor person who checks in on her every couple months. And so during COVID time, the person who was checking in on her progress was doing it via Zoom. So she was watching my 2-year-old daughter at the time and observing her through my cell phone screen, because at the time I didn't have a computer. So, how accurate are these children being monitored whenever we have states of emergency situations like what we did for COVID? Are they really just looking at these children through a camera lens and deciding that their environment is safe, that they're healthy, that they're being taken care of?
Well, that's probably what did happen with him. And I do remember the Sunday Acosta is in the group. She is the biological father's sister. She said that whenever they were going with the DNA, going to court and everything, trying to get Angel, that the CPS worker in Kentucky closed out she closed out her case like a month after she was born. So that would have been sometime in March, like the end of March, close to the end of March when she closed out the case. So I don't know really if CPS beyond that was ever, I mean, ever involved. And now that I'm thinking about it, how did they get involved?
They would have got involved whenever he was arrested. And because of the custody dispute,
Okay,
on
yeah, that's
April 14th, after the custody dispute, CPS was trying to reach out to him. I had read that he had dodged them at the end of April. And then on May 1st is our last picture of Angel. So
oh, that's
that's
just
why
so
I was
sad.
kind of thinking,
Mm.
was he dodging CPS and trying to place her somewhere before they could take her away, basically? That's why that's always been in the back of my head, that maybe, just maybe, she could still be out there somewhere.
Oh, I
And
would
I
hope
mean,
so.
her looks have probably changed so much. Like, babies change so quickly.
I did a photo progression. I don't have it. I did a photo progression of her,
Okay.
and you know what? I don't know how to do it, but I'll post that in the group as well. I'll send that to you, and
Yeah, that would be excellent, because I think that it would be nice to see, how her looks may have changed, over the last, let's see, it's been 5 months that she's
yeah.
been missing.
So she would be almost eight. Let's see, almost 8 months, seven,
Mm-hmm.
8 months. Yeah, she was born February 11th.
Okay.
So yeah. Um, I'm so hoping that someone has got her and has fallen in love with her and doesn't want to give her up. I really don't. That's just,
Well,
of course, that's what you want to hope. I'm just,
that's the
but
importance of getting this case out there too, though, because people may not even realize that she's reported missing. Not very many people watch the regular news anymore. We have an entire generation that gets all their news from social media. She only has the one group now. She did have a couple mentions in other groups with other children. They have since taken her name off the groups.
yeah, I saw
So
that.
it's like she's kind of faded into the background. And if we don't make her name big, basically, the woman or individual he may have handed her off to might be completely unaware that he is involved in something nefarious. Like, they may have no clue that she's considered a missing child.
Well, that is true because there's just, like I said, her information is just not, it hasn't reached enough people. And I don't understand. I mean, we need to share, share, share and get her name out there, get her face out there. And so that people can be looking, has someone in the neighborhood suddenly said they adopted a baby or had a baby or, had,
Not even just in the neighborhood. Whenever we looked at his background check, he has ties to Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, um,
Ohio, Alabama,
Ohio. Yeah, exactly. So we
Mississippi.
have 7, 8 states that she could possibly be with a woman or somebody he may have met. Then he said, "Hey, I'm going to be going to jail. I got charges coming up. An incident happened with my mom. Can you please watch my daughter while I'm in jail?" And he could have
Oh
took her
man,
3, 4 states away. And they may have no idea, because how far outside of West Virginia has this story really been spread?
Yeah, probably not a whole lot. Boy, that when you said that about him going to jail, saying, "Hey, can you watch her while I serve my term?" Which we don't know how long his term's going to be. I hope it's for the rest of his life.
Right.
Um, but that reminds me of that Khaleesi's little, her case
Yes.
when
Yeah,
when the mother
because the
went to
mom
jail.
handed
Yeah.
her off. Mhm.
Mhm.
In hopes that, she handed her off to this friend because the friend told her, like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll bring her to come visit you." So instead of handing her to family that lived 5 hours away, she handed her off to a friend in hopes that she could see her while she was in prison still. And then Candy
Yeah.
Royer and Travis Brown actually allegedly murdered Khaleesi. They still have
Right.
not found her body. They still have not been charged with it. They have been charged with felony neglect and several other charges related to her disappearance, but not with her death yet, because they still have not found her body. They do have some type of evidence to prove that she's no longer with us. However, we don't have that with Angel. They drug that pond. We don't know exactly why they decided to do that, but I still want to keep hope that she could be out there. And that's why it's important that we just share and share and share and share and share.
We
And share,
should
and share. Let's
like
keep
and
spreading our
share. I mean,
picture.
in all your put it in any and every missing child group, missing persons group. Um, is she did they put her in NamUs finally? Because she wasn't there for a little while. Um, yeah, I think that they did. I'm looking at it now. They put her in there. But I mean, in all the states that you had mentioned, Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, um, Mississippi, where else did you say?
Pennsylvania, and
Yeah,
then
Yeah.
I can't. Basically,
Uh,
that entire little, like the entire eastern coast, he pretty much has ties with the central eastern side. Um, so she could literally be anywhere in that little block of states that are all connected right there.
well, we
So,
just need to share it and share it and share it and get her name out there. And I hope that the news stations will pick up some more too, and maybe put some on Huntington to say something. You know,
right.
just say something, anything. Or there's just too
If
many
there are
people.
locals even that are desiring to maybe get like a vigil together or a protest or something along those lines, that would be awesome to help bring awareness. Or we could do like flyers. If we can get some flyers printed out and hung in these other states, that would be amazing also.
I would pay for flyers. I really would, and send them to whoever wants flyers to put them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, that
I
would be
would.
awesome. Because, like I said, Allentown, Pennsylvania, I want to say that's where he was from. I want to say it's within like 45 minutes or so of where I am. I never heard of this case until I, was just scrolling through the missing children posters at one point, I believe, is how I came across her story. And so it's important that, we get this out there. She needs to be found. We need some
And
type of resolution to this.
anyone who knows anything. I mean, we've already seen, like I said, in the group, several women have come forward who spoke to him, who had messages with him. Who there was a young girl whose mother was dating him, and they had gotten the girl was babysitting and was had pictures of Angel that were just they were so adorable. And anybody who knows anything, just anything, especially from May 1st to May 10th, if anyone saw her past, I think the police are asking for May 2nd, but I'm thinking if anyone saw her any day past May 1st, just please let Huntington Police Department know, let the FBI know, let someone know, call 911. just something. We need to get this baby found. We need to get Angel found.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no
It's
problem.
it's always
Anytime.
easier to do these live streams whenever you have somebody to talk to, especially with the chat being, on the quiet side, not having the interaction. It makes it, difficult to just talk for a half hour, basically.
Oh, I
Um,
know. Well, they'll see it if they don't. If they're not in here now, they'll see it later. So we'll share it.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
And
thank
thank
you. I'm going to
you.
go ahead and shut us down. I do appreciate you coming on. My kids are getting a little bit crazy, so I'm going to go ahead and close us out.
Okay.
Have a good
Well, you
day.
take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.